It's the MyMichelleLive podcast.
MyMichelleLive Entertainment Review. Roll out the red carpet. Here's Michelle.
You know, he says that every single week, but yet, where's my red carpet? Where is my red carpet? Oh, or as the saying goes, if all the world's a stage, you know how Shakespeare says, all the world's a stage and all the people merely actors, basically. Let me paraphrase. I have heard the phrase, if all the world's a stage, I need better lighting. I'm just saying. Anyway, welcome to Entertainment Review, where we take on some of the movies and entertainment and some of the pop culture of the world, and we do it with the one and only Adam Holz.
Pretty cool. Plugging you into the movies, this is Adam Holz.
Yes, he is. That's his side job, being pretty cool. And we're so glad that you do it.
Tell my children.
Yeah. They haven't believed me yet. Why would they start now?
I was thinking about joining you dancing to the music, and I had the voice of my daughter in my head saying, Dad, just don't. Stop dancing.
Oh, did you hear something else? I got to do this. So they say that there was a thing, it was all over TikTok, that a side part means that you're older. I'm like, a side part means I like my style. And I know, you know what means that you're older?
I have the red C, right?
Let me tell you something, kiddos. You know what means that you're older? That you don't give a flying rat about where your hair is. You do what you love and how you express you. You know you're younger when you're so concerned about what people think about your part. So,
Honestly, I shaved my head in 1996, so I haven't had a part in long.
Well, then I guess you are indeed pretty cool. Adam Holz is with Plugged In Movie Reviews, where they have blogs, they have info on their page. They cover movies. Oh yeah, but they also cover books, video games, music, YouTube channels, books. So essentially pop culture are us. And they do it in a different way. It's not just about saying this is what the movie's about, which is what reviewers do. This is what the movie's about, and this is what I think about the movie. It's about giving you information so you can choose your pop culture venue and know what's in it for you, what's in it for your kids, what you might want to avoid, and what might be an inspiration to you. So, Adam, here we go. This week, we got some stuff to talk about.
Finally, real movies that are really in movie theaters and also streaming if you're still not quite ready to head back to the movie theater. Shall we start with Cruella today? Does that seem like a good launch?
Cruella Deville. If she doesn't scare, keep talking. Don't leave me here singing.
No, I'm gonna just enjoy your singing. It's actually I've heard Cruella's theme song. So
yes, that was me that just snorted. There's not something wrong with your computer. I'm sorry.
It's a feature, not a bug. Right?
There you go. I need that t-shirt. Cruella. I'm kind of excited about that. I have enjoyed over the years some of the Disney's insider backstories on some of these characters from the cartoons we grew up with. I've liked that.
Yes.
Maleficent. I was resistant at first because I thought, they're going to make good bad and bad good. You know, who knows in this day and age. Right. And I ended up adoring that movie, having a better understanding that. And it was just the most beautiful love story between a woman and someone that she loved as a daughter. Oh, loved Maleficent. I really did. That was great. And now they're doing it with another well-known villain, Cruella Deville. So
they are, and I
give it to me.
That I went into this movie with everything you just said about Maleficent in mind. Walked out disappointed.
Oh.
Let me rewind the tape. So as you mentioned, Disney has been doing these backstory, kind of origin story, kind of live action movies, in some cases, fleshing out, okay, here's what you didn't know about this character. And Cruella starts off as a little girl who has jet black and snow white hair. That's kind of her defining feature. And, it's hard when you're a kid to be different. And we have lots of voices in our society telling us that being different is good. And that's many, if not most of the times, true. But in her case, she's just a target for bullies. And she kind of has these two sides to her personality. She's got a nice, sweet, compliant side, and that is Estella, the little girl. And then she has the Cruella side, which is, I'm not going to take any of this, stuff off of anybody, and she fights back. And so her mother is constantly trying to feed the good child and limit the effect of Estella's impulse to go for the jugular when she's under attack. Well, you'll notice I just mentioned a mother, and I'm not sure that there's anything more dangerous in the entire cinematic universe than being a mother in a Disney film. So, spoiler warning, she doesn't last for long. She just doesn't. I'm sorry. She's the nicest and really the only nice character in this whole movie in some ways. And she dies. I won't tell you how. It's not good. And Estella ends up with these two street urchin orphans. And they all kind of help each other grow up. And she eventually runs into this fashion designer named the Baroness, played by Emma Thompson. And of course, Cruella is played by Emma Stone. So it's sort of battle of the Emmas. We're only missing the other Emma, the Harry Potter Emma, sounds like.
Emma, yes, the Hermione chick, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Hermione chick. I wouldn't have said it that way, but yes.
Yeah, well,
Watson,
you know me.
There you go. Stop thinking for a moment. Anyway, the up story is Emma Thompson. No. The up story is that Cruella kind of adores the Baroness, but then other things happen and they end up enemies. And the balance of the story really is about Cruella taking her revenge on the Baroness for things that are revealed. So here's what I love about this. The Emmas are phenomenal. This is a gorgeous movie. It's very stylish. It's fun to watch. The characters are deliciously wicked. And you like them, and you understand how Cruella became Cruella, just kind of like Maleficent. What veers pretty sharply from the Maleficent template is it does what you feared Maleficent did. It makes bad look good, and it's a pretty superficial movie. It doesn't have anywhere near, for me anyway, the kind of emotional resonance that either of the Maleficent movies had. And instead, I think we get a glamorization of a lot of bad behavior in the name of, hey, it looks good, it's fun, and we can do this. So we were pretty disappointed in this one. There's not much to recommend it from a moral of the story perspective. If you are the world's biggest Emma Stone fan, you will want to see this, and you will enjoy what they do with her and with Emma Thompson.
Okay.
So
I'm a big Emma Thompson fan. I'm a big Emma. She is a phenomenal actress, and funny that she's one of my favorites. She used to be married to, I can't remember his name, and he's one of my favorite. Kenneth Branagh. Shame on me for forgetting. He's an actor. He is an actor. One of my favorites.
Let's all go watch Henry V right now.
Much Ado About Nothing. Much Ado About Nothing. Love that, and I believe he directed it, and Emma Thompson was in it. What a wonderful tryst that is. But so yes, probably phenomenally acted, I can imagine. But evil, bad. tragedy, disturbing, all must have equal or greater redemption. That's about as much math as I get to. Equal or greater to, there must be a redemptive quality, a redemptive message. Then you walk away going, oh, that makes sense. That feels good. I like that movie. Maleficent, you understand why she became this bad person, right? You understand and the things that she did weren't good. You understood her pain though, but that redemptive nature, that redemptive quality that, I'm still a little bad, but man, I love my daughter and I want to do the right thing and I'm trying to be good, that you saw in the second movie where she's trying to interact with the potential in-laws.
Right.
She behaved well? No, but she was so relatable because that's so many of us.
She was triggered pretty hard. I mean, let's just say
this is true. But can we relate to that as people? Is that us where we're going? Yeah, I'm trying to be a good person here, but I loved it. I really did love it. And so I was hoping that Cruella would do the same thing. Surprising because Disney knows the formula. They keep doing the formula again and again and again. So you expect it. Disney has the formula down. We go, we enjoy it. We give them money. What happened?
Well, I think that somebody at Disney went to see the Joker too many times. This felt like, it felt like a Harley Quinn movie. That's what it feels like. So
wow, Adam
really has that Joker-esque anti-hero kind of vibe to it. Now, it doesn't have, there's some violence. There's a smattering of, just a tiny smattering of profanity. There's really not much content, but you get done watching what ultimately devolves into a revenge fantasy, heisty kind of movie. And the movie wants you to take pleasure in the creative links to which Cruella goes to inflict vengeance. And that's pretty problematic. And it's Disney, honestly.
Yeah.
This is, I don't like it. I just don't want to go there. Even though I can totally appreciate and laughed out loud and really enjoyed some of the scenes. The overall message.
You don't walk away going, yeah, that was good.
I don't need my kids internalizing the message that seeking vengeance is the right way to go.
Right.
Now, could you spin this as a cautionary tale? Yeah, sure. But it's hard to have a cautionary tale when they make it look so delicious.
There you go. And there's nothing delicious about what makes you into a kind of a person that wants to skin little puppies. Okay. Right. Okay. So there you go. Cruella de Vil, Cruella de Vil. Now, anything else that we have in theaters?
Oh boy, this is just one of our two for this week. If you have been saying to yourself, back in 2018, I loved John Krasinski and Emily Blunt in A Quiet Place. I want one. Sure we can. They're back. They were supposed to be back a year ago. This movie's been done forever. But like so many things, it got delayed because of COVID. So A Quiet Place, if you missed it the first time around, pretty simple premise, pretty powerful. The movie is actually shockingly compelling. Aliens invade the Earth, right? We've seen that before. Here's what's different. The aliens are blind, and the aliens are basically like big spider arachnid things. They're not humanoid at all. They're monsters. They can't see, but they have incredible hearing. They can hear things from miles away. And so the very few humans that survive long enough to figure out what the gig is with these spider aliens learn to be very, very quiet, hence the name A Quiet Place. Well, Emily Blunt's character in the first movie is pregnant before the aliens invade, and babies are a lot of things, but they're not quiet. So the tension in the first movie is how do they stay alive, as she has a child silently, and then has to...
Oh, there's no way. You just lost me there. You don't have a child silently.
No, you don't. But this movie
Yeah, I hear you.
The first one, it was a powerful movie about family.
Okay, I want to intervene here because you and I diverge on this. I think it was a very good movie. I think it was compelling. I think you're very right in that. But I didn't love it. The difference for me, and I might give this as a word of advice as you're listening or watching right now. Don't watch it at home. Don't wait for it to come out. Go and see it in theaters where you are actually watching the screen, because we are kind of used to watching movies at home where I can surf the internet, be doing something else, strumming on my guitar, whatever, maybe have a little conversation here or there. That's kind of how, maybe not for you, Adam, but for my house.
No, totally that way.
Yeah. So if you're watching now, imagine that compelling movie you were watching in the theater at home, and you turn away, you look down at your guitar, you're surfing, you look up and you're like, I don't know what's going on. Sometimes that the sounds are the cue. You're listening to the sounds. You don't need to watch every moment. This is something you kind of have to watch every moment. Watch it in the theaters. It's a lot easier. Then you'll have an Adam experience versus a Michelle experience. There you go.
So Quiet Place 2, yeah, it's more of that. And I will give a spoiler here because it's where the movie starts. John Krasinski's character doesn't make it to the end of A Quiet Place. So sorry, there we go. But this movie picks up Emily Blunt's character. The Abbotts is this family. They're on their own. She has a baby and 2 children, and she's still trying to fend off these nightmarish creatures. There's another new character that helps them that they meet. What's kind of fun about this one is there's a bunch of flashbacks because John Krasinski realized his error. It's like, oh, I killed my character off. He was the director of the last one and this one. And I think he may have even been a writer too. I haven't looked that up. So there's flashbacks to the alien invasion. This is a lot more action oriented. I would compare it, and these are both movies from a time ago, to the difference between Alien, the first one in 79, and Aliens in 85. The second one is even more intense, but it's more of an action movie. This is sort of along the same lines. So you know what the deal is, whereas in the first one, it's all still being set up. But the tension, the core issue is, yeah, we still got to be quiet because there's still these hyper hearing aliens out there that want to kill people. So if you dug it the first time, you'll probably like it the second time. I don't think it's as good a movie. My 14-year-old, like if you have a 14-year-old boy that likes giant spider creatures killing people, like mine does, because I apparently have perhaps maybe failed or succeeded maybe as a parent, this is a good movie. It's not for little kids. It's not for people who are sensitive to spider-like imagery. There you go.
No arachnophobia. Yeah.
Need not apply for this.
Okay. Hey, well, there you go. And there's a couple of new things to look at. And I think it is kind of a twofer today. Those are the 2 big releases that we're looking at. I doing some traveling. You can download movies, of course, from Amazon Prime, Netflix, Disney. And one thing that I found that is on Disney that I had not seen that we might want to revisit is Everyone's Hero. And this is a movie about a little boy named Yankee Irving that loves baseball, but he never gets picked. He's not really any good. His dad's not a lot of help because he's working 2 jobs, but his dad has the coolest job. He's like a night guard or custodian at Yankee Stadium. So,
oh yeah.
So he is. This is set in the time of the big Bambino, Babe Ruth, and he gets to see Babe Ruth's bat. Woohoo! Well, there's a nefarious pitcher from the Chicago Cubs that goes in to steal the bat. So the dad gets blamed. The little boy sees this guy, and he goes on the hunt along with a talking baseball and Babe Ruth's talking bat that he eventually acquires in the shenanigans. So it's kind of cute. I just thought I might get it is a visit from the past, right? I enjoyed some of the fun of it. It was a sweet film. What did you think? Do you remember that movie?
I saw it years and years ago, so I would need to do a pretty serious defrag on my hard drive to come up with much of a coherent thought. Although I think, here's what I will say. I think one of the great things about streaming services these days is everybody's looking for content. Content is expensive. It's expensive, kind of new stuff being produced constantly, but everybody's going back and trying to mine stuff from yesteryear that maybe has completely fallen off our radar. And I would say this is one of those movies for me that I have a vague recollection of seeing it, but it's not much more than that.
And that's because it's not a spectacular film. They use real characters like Babe Ruth, and the little boy ends up playing in the final game of the World Series. Not likely, not historical, so sometimes that mix of history and fantasy doesn't always work for me. I don't, make up your own things, but because I think history is often lost. Make up your own, Casey at the bat kind of a guy, you don't. But other than that, it was a movie that you may not have seen, and it is sweet for the younger audience or for families. I sat through it on an airplane. I thought it was worth a see. So that's my pick of the week. Do you have one?
I do, and it's in a totally different category that we don't talk about very often. So we review video games at Plugged In, and I think I have mentioned a time or two that my son and I started playing Pokemon Go back in the day. There's a new Pokemon game out called New Pokemon Snap, which is actually a sort of reimagining, a rebooting of a game from 22 years ago. And this is a game for either young children, and it's on the Nintendo Switch, or hardcore Pokemon fans, because you just travel to this island and your goal is to take pictures of Pokemon. You're sort of a traveler / photographer. It's just, man, we live in a world where we're assaulted with so much junk. And it's fun to have an option where you're just doing something very, very innocent, very pure, very childlike. And if you're a Pokemon fan, you get to see some really fun graphics of some of your favorite imaginary pocket monsters. Did you know that's what Pokemon is a contraction for? It stands for pocket monsters.
I was a Pokemon. I know.
Oh, I hope you still have the cards, because we could have an entire podcast on what has happened in the market. Do you know about this? This
no.
Is a tangent.
What? Tangent me.
If you have old Pokemon cards,
yeah,
like run, don't walk to see what you've got.
Oh no. Really?
I may actually have just facilitated your retirement, and you can invite me to your condo in Hawaii, and my family, of course. No, the most expensive Pokemon cards from like 1999 are now going for $200,000 to $300,000 a pop.
God bless America. Who has that kind of money?
Well, it's crazy, but it's seriously, there's a guy on the internet, Logan Paul, who has jacked up the prices because he has popularized it. And during the pandemic, collectibles, Pokemon cards, sports cards, comics, the market for all of it has gone crazy. So if you have a box full of Pokemon cards from the late 90s, seriously, go find it. Well, no, just send it to me and I'll help you.
Oh, you're good for me. You're a giver. You are a giver.
Right.
Is there anything that you think we need to stay away from this week? Anything that you went, wait a minute. Here's the warning.
Yeah, there's a new show on Hulu called Marvel's MODOK, MODOK, which is an acronym for, wait for it, I'll tell you in a minute. Anyway, if you're a Marvel fan, you know that MODOK is this really bizarro villain with a giant head. And you might think to yourself, that would be a great animated series for my kids. But you would be totally wrong. This is an animated series that has all kinds of profanity and nastiness. This is a nasty show. And so apparently, every now and then, Marvel remembers that people love Deadpool, so they want to give people naughty superhero shows. And this is a naughty show on Hulu that you should not, under any circumstance, let your child watch, because this is not your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man doing everything that a spider can. It's just gross. So,
okay. I mean, you expect it with Deadpool. I'm sorry. I think Deadpool takes it too far. I get it as an adult. I can get some of the humor and but yeah, it goes too far. We like to push those boundaries, and sometimes I'm tired of that. I want to back up the boundaries just a little bit, just to enjoy a few things. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, exactly. And his name actually means wait for it. I just had it. I lost it. It's like I can't remember. I mean, seriously. Yeah, thank you.
Do 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 bum 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 boom.
All right,
boom.
keep talking. I'll find it.
Yeah, I'll give you a little insight into this. Go ahead. What's the movie name again?
Here it is. I got it. MODOK, mental organism designed only for killing, and it might be mental organism designed only for killing your brain cells and your soul.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. And of course, we always talk about every week anything that we have to look forward to.
It's coming. It's coming. We got a fairly quiet week next week. And the week after that, In the Heights, the new Lin-Manuel Miranda musical, which is set in Washington Heights in New York City. And my understanding, I haven't seen it yet, is that it's kind of an immigrant-focused story, and immigrants really working hard to help each other. If you've seen it, you're familiar with it, and you're like, dude, you're totally butchering this summary. That's everything I could discern from the trailer.
Okay.
I think he does amazing music. You and I have waxed eloquent about Hamilton. We love the Moana soundtrack, which he wrote on.
So I am looking forward to this. I'm picky about modern musicals. They don't always work for me. La La Land was, oh gosh, oh my gosh,
the music wasn't very good.
The music wasn't good. The acting was meh. The story was, they didn't have talented dancing music. They just pick pretty people, well-known people. We saw maybe a kind of a musical that worked, albeit there was some morality issues that you can find out for yourself, was Mamma Mia. The second Mamma Mia had even more of those problems, but the music worked even with top-rated actors that couldn't sing. I mean, Pierce Bronson cannot sing, but it kind of worked. They did it well. What Christmas movie? Jingle Jangle.
Yeah, Jingle Jangle.
I was really expecting to not love Jingle Jangle. I was expecting that it was going to be ditzy. I thought it was a really good musical, and the music was great. When you walk out, now I am a musical girl. Broadway musicals, I can probably sing every song, up until, I don't know, maybe 2000 or 2015. I'm pretty proficient, but here's the kicker: if you walk out still remembering the song, there's good music there. So I'm interested in seeing. I'm going to be cautious.
Well, and West Side Story is coming out the end of the year. So Steven Spielberg, I think it's Spielberg, is doing West Side Story.
Not a musical though, is he?
I think it is, but
Why redo it? It was perfect. Leave it alone.
yeah, I mean,
Think of something new.
Something should be, I'm trying to help you. I'm throwing you a bone here.
Okay. We'll see. If you have, I would rather, and this is goes for stage as well. I'm going to throw Haley Mills under the bus. I'm sorry. You may be watching or listening and know who Haley Mills is. She's of old school Disney fame. The original Parent Trap. And other films, Pollyanna. She was a darling of Disney, and she did those great films. She was great. Loved those. She was in a stage rendition touring with The King and I. And she played Anna in The King and I. I love The King and I. Thing is, she was awful. She didn't have that stage presence, the larger than life stage presence. She didn't have the big, beautiful, powerful or lovely voice. She had a nice voice. She was totally upstaged by the complete unknowns that played other roles. I would rather, hello, Hollywood, because you're listening, I would rather have some really talented known than have these beautiful people, stars. I know that stars may bring in the people who are their fans, but for goodness sake, if you make a good film, if you make it, people will come. If it's good, people will come. That's my thought. There you go. Soapbox exited. I'm turning it over to you, Adam. Final word.
This is going to be a time when a bunch of us are going to decide, hey, maybe I want to go to a movie. And it's going to feel familiar and it's going to feel weird all at the same time, because most of us haven't done it for a long time. But some good stuff coming that is potentially worth a see. And obviously at Plugged In, we want to give you everything to make the best decision for yourself, for your family. And I, for one, am glad that movie theaters hopefully are opening back up, and hopefully they stay open this time. I see Australia just went into a big lockdown. So COVID thing, I'm so done with it. Let's yes.
Just saying. All right. Well, this is where we get you plugged into movies. Adam Holz joins us every week as we talk about what's new and what you might want to revisit. Now, everything we do, we also do, like you do at pluggedin.com. We look at things that can be edifying, garbage in, garbage out, right? So when we try to make good choices, you can always go to Plugged In. You can listen to our podcast, and I invite you to like us, share us. Go to MyMichelleLive.com. My Michelle, like the old Beatles song done by Guns N' Roses. I wonder, they probably have a review there on and Plugged In.
Every time I think about My Michelle, I'm transported back to 1987 when Appetite for Destruction came out, and I think about that song.
So MyMichelleLive.com. Thank you, Adam, for joining us today, because you are pretty cool.
I'm pretty cool. Plugging you into the movies, this is Adam Holz.
Catch you next time.
Sounds good. Thanks, Michelle.
More entertainment at MyMichelleLive.com.